Hey everybody, welcome to Dabbles Gaming. My name's Dabbles, 'cause that's what I do. Today we have Treasure Adventure Games, so let's check it out. Treasure Adventure Game is a metroidvania-style puzzle platformer created by Robit Studios in 2011 and graciously given out as freeware. Now, I found the game when it was given to me for signing up with GOG.com. From the research I did, Robit Studios seems to be the work of one Stephen Orlando with the help of artist Christine, also known as Fetal Star, and composer Robert Ellis. The game starts you off as a child in a flashback sequence where you are accompanying your father and a colleague as they search for buried treasure like Indiana Jones. It's pretty much just a tutorial level to help you learn the movement controls. After you enter the temple, you awake from the dream to find yourself grown under the care of a kindly old woman, and you're missing one of your hands. The story of the game from there is you finding treasure maps with the help of your father's colleague to collect 12 treasures while piecing together your own lost memories. Now, for the work of a single man, this game is absolutely beautiful. The pixel art is very reminiscent of old NES titles and other indie work like Fez. The music as well is exceptional. The chiptune sounds match the environment perfectly and change seamlessly with your surroundings. However, while the look and sound of the game are amazing, the controls could have used a little bit of work. Firstly, there's no option in the main menu to rebind any of the controls whatsoever. This has to be done in a separate configuration file found in the main folder that holds the game's exe. It is also not a game that is easily played with a keyboard and a mouse, mainly because there are no mouse controls anyway. Because of this, I chose to play the game with gamepad, and it seemed to fit much more easily. Now, the controls also could have been optimized slightly, I believe. For instance, when you want to perform an action such as talking to your parrot friend, you press up and the action key. However, when you want to perform an action with something in the background, like a door, you simply press up. It's not very intuitive and had me talking to the parrot when I wanted to save the game or enter a new area. Now, the controls harken back to the SNES with 4 buttons that do different things. One attacks, one jumps, one's your action command, and the last one opens your menu. Now, as far as handling in this game, it seems a bit floaty. Your jump takes time to get used to and allows you to make jumps that you might think you'd miss as long as you just keep holding down the direction you want to go. Even if you slightly miss your target, most ledges allow you to grab onto the edge and then jump up. Now, the design of the levels takes into consideration, which is nice. There are some places I was able to glitch onto surfaces I probably shouldn't have been able to just by taking advantage of this. The ground physics also have a bit of floatiness to them. As you play, it almost feels as though there are permanent ice physics on all the surfaces, which can be a little annoying during some of the more precise platforming areas. The only control I had a problem with is crawling. My god, the crawling. To crawl, you need to press down and forward when you're next to a corridor that's shorter than you. You then go from the crouch to the crawl animation and can simply press forward to get through the space. The problem lies in getting to that crawling animation in the first place. There were times when I would get first try 2-3 times in a row. There were other times where I'd be waggling the analog stick forward, down, forward, down, forward, down randomly, just hoping to squeeze the character in there. I assume this would be easier with a keyboard or a D-pad, but if you play with a gamepad, you can't rebind the controls from the analog stick. Now, the gameplay itself is what gamers have grown to love and expect from a Metroidvania title. The world is completely open for you to explore as long as you have the proper items to tackle certain obstacles. For example, you can't traverse through rough seas without first getting a sail, and you can't dig out sand without first getting a shovel. Aside from these necessary items, what you spend the treasure you find on is up to you. The order in which you finish objectives is also up to you. Personally, I was able to get the second, in quotes, heart container before the first one, and did that even before I faced the first treasure boss. Now, speaking of bosses, they are amazingly epic, and will definitely require more than one try to complete. There's usually a save point right before a major boss battle, so that you aren't wasting your time trudging through areas of a dungeon just to get back and die again. Now, the bosses themselves are easy once you figure out the patterns, just like in our favorite NES titles. While they seem to be pretty RNG dependent, I found that I was able to manipulate them enough to make them passable without too much trouble. The key here is taking your time and learning what they do, then using actual gaming skill to finish them off. It was a great breath of fresh air compared to some modern game bosses that you can beat the first time around and don't even really care about or remember after that. As with all games of this style, there are puzzles. Tons and tons of puzzles. Move this block here to get that block there, to jump up here, to push this button, to open this other area, to advance the game. Now, the puzzles themselves aren't very difficult, and I got most of them on the first try. The difficulty in the puzzles, sadly, comes from the floaty controls. Sometimes I would fall down in a vertical puzzle and have to climb my way back to the top just to fall down again. While this can be frustrating, it's not game-breaking. Also, like most Metroidvanias, there are loads of hidden secrets and little quirks you find while you play. Hidden crawl spaces that lead to chests of gold, or these white pinwheels that I never figured out what they had a use for while I was playing. Other secrets aren't so obvious, like the fact that the wind will passively move your boat as soon as you have a sail. And little things like that really bring a game to life, even if you don't notice it at first. Overall, I think Treasure Adventure Game is an awesome title made by a very talented company. Thankfully, they're working on an HD remake of the game, and have already been greenlit on Steam. They promise the same awesome game with a few changes to keep those who had played the original interested. The new art for it looks great, with a more smooth, braid-like quality over the pixel art of Tag. I just hope they work out the controls a bit more so I'm not screaming at the character to crawl into some damn hole. So, if Metroidvanias are your thing, or you're just looking for an amazing game to play that won't put a dent in your wallet, pick up Treasure Adventure Game and check it out. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. All links are in the description for the game and other related content. And for more of these, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'll be trying to put out these at least once a month for other free or nearly free games that you can play that are awesome, that won't break the bank. So, until next time, I've been Dabbles. You guys have been awesome.